Welcome to Section 2 of this course. In this chapter, we will look at the basic settings of the software, the management of athletes' profiles, and the management of groups. We will also see how to create a test or battery of tests, how to display and compare results. First, however, we will carry out the configuration of the system. Let's start. When the software opens, you are on the main screen. This is characterized by 3 levels of menus, one consecutive to the other. The first level is the selection menu at the top. Divided in 2 parts, it shows on the left side the index of icons that allow you to manage athletes, test, results, and the biofeedback, which we will see in detail later. On the right side are the icons for setting, configuration, and help. The icon utility is divided into a subsection that allows you to manage the different configurations and activities through different selection. Athletes selection. This section opens a second menu that allows you to insert or edit one or more athletes and to insert or edit one or more groups. Test selection allows you to immediately execute a test, define or modify tests, or define or modify protocols. Results selection allows you to enter the database containing all test results. Biofeedback selection allows you to access a section to work and train the user athletes by showing in real time the result of his performance on a pop-up, usually placed on a second monitor like TV, computer, or a tablet placed in front of the treadmill. On the right side of the menu, we find the section that allows us to configure our system. This very important section will be covered shortly in the Features section. Through the Help button, we have a direct access to the manual with all the general information indexed by topic. The first system configuration is very important because it allows the first system settings to be made. This can be done in the Utilities section and is divided into several selections. On the basic configuration, you find the Languages selection. The language can be changed at any time during program execution. Select the desired language from the drop-down menu and press Save. Unit of measurement allows you to set the type of unit of measurement for displaying the test output values. Video. After connecting the webcam to the PC USB port and installing the drivers, you can test the camera and configure exposure, focus, and other more complex settings that may be useful in particular lighting conditions. Up to 2 webcams can be installed and configured simultaneously. In this section, it is also possible to adjust the video and capture time and format. In order to better manage the video capture of the first foot of support, it is possible to activate or deactivate the preview and adjust its capture time. It is also possible to manage some parameters related to video reversal and video rotation. In this menu, there are still other general settings relating to the video, to the activation of the electromyograph, metronome, and the type of report to be activated. The second selection concerns the OptoJump hardware test. In this section, you can check if the connected bars are connected and working. If the webcams are connected, the live image should also be displayed. In this section, as mentioned, it is possible to check the connection with the OptoJump bars. Moreover, in case of connection of more bars, the software shows automatically the length of the system and the total number of bars. To start the test, press Execute. The test continues until stop is pressed. If there are no interrupted LED, the test ends with a positive result. If there are any interruptions of the LED due to the need to insert jumping boards or other useful tools in the system to evaluate the athlete, it is possible to exclude the interrupted section so as not to affect the analysis and results. This test is also very useful to check, especially in the case of outdoor installations of long bar combinations, if there are any obstacles, such as leaves, stones, hills, between the transmitting and receiving bar. If the obstacles cannot be removed, they can be excluded via the software. All interruptions of those LED will not be taken into account for the test. The third selection is a very important section and concerns database management. All tests, athletes, and results are saved in a predefined database located in a very specific section of the PC where the software is installed. The folder path where the default files are saved is shown in the highlighted line. When creating new databases, the windows on the right allow you to create, select, import, and export all databases saved in a specific file path. Database management is useful in case you want to divide up specific work groups related to your activity. The Devices section allows the OptoJump to be combined with other systems such as JICO or WIDI. In order to make the connection, enter in Device section. On this example, we will see the combination of the JICO with the OptoJump system. The device to be paired must be switched on and searched for using the new search selection. The software will show you the available device. With the Activate selection, you will see the selected device on the Active Devices screen. The software also allows you to assign a name to the device, activate it in case of subsequent pairings, or remove it if necessary. The OptoJump Next software can manage a number of external devices, including heart rate monitors. For more details and specifications about supported devices, we suggest to see section 4.4.6 of the user's manual. From the Utility menu, you can configure the heart rate monitoring. On the screen, you can set the maximum heart rate, the heart rate at rest, and the heart rate maximum and minimum. Each selection ensures better configuration with a representation of the minimum and maximum percentage selection or lower and upper limits. In the event of changes or customizations, the Save button will enable the changes to take effect. The last three software selections allow you to view and define software versions. Under Check Update, it is possible to see if software has new version available. All updates are free of charge and available through the software itself, or can be downloaded directly from our website on the Training and Sports page under Support and then Software. Under About sections, you can view software version and minimum system requirements for the computer. Finally, the Reset to Default Values option allows you to reset the system to its initial setting. The second part on the left-hand side characterized by the icons for managing athletes, tests, results, and finally for carrying out tests using the biofeedback system. The first section, Athletes, is divided into two parts. These two subsections allow you to enter or edit an athlete and enter or edit a group. To enter an athlete, you must enter the first section. Inside, you will find a table with some athletes, if previously loaded. Otherwise, you will need to insert athletes before defining a test. There are two ways to enter them. The first is via the New Athletes button on the right side of the window. This selection will open a view with the athlete's data to be entered. In addition to first name, surname, date of birth, and gender, you can also enter other data of possible interest, such as height, weight, sport, discipline, and many others. If the athlete's weight is entered, this is used for the calculation of total energy and power and is historicized. When using the system on a treadmill, it is essential to acquire the foot size of the athlete. To do this, on the right-hand side of the screen, select Acquire Foot Measurement and place the athlete's foot between the bars. In this way, the foot interrupts the LEDs and can be seen and measured in its entirety. The corresponding value is reported automatically by the system within the line. An interesting function available in the athlete's database. It allows you to link images and videos to it. From the bottom line menu, you can import files or record videos or photos of interest with your webcam and add to them markers and comments. The second selection, Insert Modify Group, allow you to enter or edit a group. This page is divided into two levels. The first level at the top allows you to view the structure of the various groups and subgroups. The second level at the bottom presents a table displaying all the athletes in the database, which is useful for managing athletes across the entire architecture of groups and subgroups. A group may in fact contain several sections within which the athletes are divided. In a sample group, for example, for football, it is possible to create different subgroups according to the players' roles: attackers, midfielders, and defenders. To create a subgroup as shown in the video, you must select the main group, click on the icon on the right-hand side New Group, enter the name, in this case goalkeeper, and press confirm. In this way, it is possible to create an infinity of groups and subgroups useful for carrying out in-depth analyses of results referring to groups of people with the same characteristics or roles. There are two ways to manage athletes according to this section. The first, in the Athletes section, by selecting one Athletes tab, it is possible through the Add to a Group icon to choose which group to assign the athlete to and press Add to a Group to confirm. The second way is via the Group Management page. You select the relevant group or subgroup, then drag the athlete's name into the desired subgroup. In this way, it is also possible to move thought athletes into one or more subgroup. Remember, an athlete may be included in several groups or subgroups. Once the athletes have been entered into the database and the group section has been created and fine-tuned, the tests can be prepared. In this first part, we will see how to create and modify one or more tests according to the activity we wish to perform. Entering the menu, we immediately see that the main page is divided into three sections. The first allows you to run a test directly. The second and third selections allow you to define or modify tests or protocols. At least for the first test sessions, it is recommended to access test definition and modification. There are three menu levels in this section. The first on the left of the screen allows you to filter or search for tests contained in the adjacent column. This contains the predefined tests contained in the software divided into three different types: performance, gait analysis, rehab. Furthermore, it is possible to filter the different lists divided into predefined, customized, and protocol tests. To do so, simply place the corresponding flag on the Show or Hide icon. In addition, on the right side of the screen, a series of buttons permit the user to create, edit, duplicate, and delete tests. The personalized test can be shared using export-import functions. As mentioned above, through the interruption of the LED, the OptoJump is able to provide movement data in real time. These are categorized according to the test chosen and being performed, divided into jump, sprint, run or walk tests, and others. The creation of a test is made by selecting New Test. After entering the name, you are asked which type of test the system should refer to, in this case, jump test. For each type of test, the start and stop type must be selected. For each selection, subsections will open, allowing you to better create the test you wish to define. Further details will be provided in the following videos on specific tests and their execution. By pressing Save, the test will appear in the Customized Test section. The special filter will facilitate its identification. It is also possible to edit an existing test. By selecting the button on the right, Edit Test, you can partially change the setting of a test previously inserted by the user. The third and last refers to the creation and modification of a protocol. Predefined protocols are a set of tests that allow the user to see the total result in one aggregated report. User-created protocols, on the other hand, are just a grouping of several tests. The results of each test must be seen individually. For analysis, they must be viewed individually or using the comparison and evolution functions. It is important to know that deleting a protocol does not delete the tests and results, but only the link of the individual tests with your own protocol. We will therefore find the tests performed by the patients as individual tests, no longer connected to the protocol. Once the tests have been configured or created, they can be executed. First, it is necessary to connect the system to the PC, verifying that the software gives feedback that the system is correctly connected. Once connected, go to Execute. The screen will present three selections: athletes, tests, and protocols. In the case of a single test, only the athletes and tests should be entered without selecting any type of protocol. The athletes selection will open the list of pre-configured athletes and groups. Select the athletes to be tested and press Confirm. Then enter the test section and select all tests to be measured. Once selected, the system will be ready to receive the impulse, and consequently, after clicking Execute, the test will be ready to receive the data. By pressing Execute, OptoJump will be able to detect all flight times and contact times in real time, displaying all parameters related to the chosen test. All the data acquired will be manageable in the Results section. The previously performed tests can be retrieved at any time by accessing the Results area. The Results section is divided into two levels. The first level, which is accessed via the main results icon, presents a list of all tests performed divided by username, test name, and date. On the left-hand side of the screen, there are always several options for entering useful filters to search for a particular test. The second level is the display of one or more tests. To enter, you must move a test with the right side arrow and click View. This selection gives access to the test and allows the display of all data collected during the performance of a test. It is also possible to use the Compare function to align two results of the same test type. This option allows you, quickly and intuitively, to carry out a study of the quantitative and qualitative differences between two tests performed at different times, pre or post-rehabilitation, for example, or between different subjects, healthy subject and rehabilitating subject. Should you wish to compare more than two tests, the History function is available, which allows you to select an unlimited number of tests to check their parameters. But let us look in detail at the features and the different options within the display page of an individual test. The results screen is characterized by 4 levels. The first on the left of the screen features a timeline showing intuitively how the test was conducted over time. Immediately below, a selection menu allows you to configure, print, and save all the analyses performed in the most common formats. In the central screen, we find at the top the window for viewing the test through a video recording. This type of video support is of great help to the user in the immediate detection of postural or motor problems, and more generally, in the qualitative analysis of the patient's movement. Thanks to the video memory, any abnormalities in the numerical data can be easily identified and explained. The video images are synchronized with the data. This makes it possible to ascertain exactly what happened when a certain value was recorded. For example, if a contact time is exaggeratedly long, the cause can be ascertained by observing the images when the value was recorded. Clicking on the video window then provides a video analysis utility containing classic tools such as lines, arcs, circles, text, ruler, protractor for measuring angles, and more. The third level of the results screen is characterized by the graphic representation of the performance, while the fourth level at the bottom numerically represents the test data with representation of the individual events. Further details on the tests and all related analyses will be provided in the following chapters devoted to the in-depth study of specific tests. At the end of the analysis of the results, the software gives the possibility to display the data by printing dedicated reports. On the screen of the selected test, the print button displays a preview of the reports with all the data corresponding to the test in different formats and graphics. Report, which differs by test type, will be explained in detail in the next chapter. On the biofeedback module, the athlete sees some basic test parameters in real time on a second monitor, usually a large TV or a tablet placed in front of a treadmill. The main difference between a normal tests is that this is just a very fast start and run module with a minimal user interface, designed to be used directly by the end patient for minimizing asymmetry or increasing stride length. The patient trains and uses the system as a diagnostic tool directly coordinated by your own personal trainer. First, you need to select which of the 3 types of tests currently available you want to perform. Clicking on one of the 3 buttons on the second monitor or on a new window, if you only have one monitor, brings up the Biofeedback user interface. To start a test, press the New button and press the Start button. By clicking on the menu command, we can decide whether to work in a symmetry mode or absolute values mode, whether the data is updated with a window of a few data points or a longer one, and whether we want to display the standard user interface or the Opto for Kids user interface. Clicking on the black triangle on the left opens the Thresholds panel. For example, you can set the bad threshold and warning threshold percentage, respectively red and orange, by dragging the dividing border up or down. Other parameters, such as reference foot, treadmill speed, and metronome, are available by clicking the second mark on the right of the screen. Please refer to section 4.5 of the manual for further details. Once one or more tests have been displayed, the dedicated report can be viewed via the print icon. This type of display summarizes the performance data. All data can be viewed and edited as required via the selection menu on the left. All pages provide a detailed view of the values measured by the system during the test. Customization of the final printout is at the discretion of the end user, who chooses in greater or lesser detail what to see. The development of these new reports was based on 2 main principles. Improve communication, further integrate the optoelectronic systems with the data coming from JICO, our inertial system. Reports integrate data in a simpler visualization with new features, new icons, and new charts. The new design was created to facilitate understanding and reading. A start page summarizes the data by putting them in relation to the tests to create a new way of communication between experts, athletes, and patients. Thanks to the collaboration with experts and scientists of the sector, we have included for the different types of movement new interesting parameters, mostly coming from the integration of the inertial sensor.